How'd you get that?
No, I don't mind
job?
sharing at all. It was a contractor position. It was at Canon, and so the reason I got this job, I said I studied computer science at Stony Brook, which wasn't a lie.
Yeah.
And it passed on the background check. It's not because the recruiter just said, "Hey, did you study there?" I said, "Yeah."
Amazing.
So I did that, and then they don't really give a shit. You understand? Like they don't give. If I felt like a piece of paper qualified me, then I don't want that guy.
How are you feeling though when you were first like applying to that job and knowing, you know what I mean? Like
honestly, I'll tell you this. I sat a while on it because it took a lot of balls for me to drop college and be like, where the fuck am I gonna get money now? Because when I was out of college, I didn't understand anything about money or like anything, like loans, banks, like nothing about the financial world. And, I guess I was just waiting for someone to be like, all right, here's how you write a check or something like that. But it never came. So I just had to, take that upon myself.
Yeah. What was that upbringing like, if you don't mind me asking? Like, did you come from a middle class family, a lower class income? Like what
I guess it was like it's not really lower class. Like, it's lower class for the area it is, but it's Gotcha. Long Island. I was born and raised in Long Island. My parents came here from India in 1995. I was born in 1996.
Wait, that was around the same time my parents came from the Philippines. Actually,
a lot of migrants came that year. I'm learning, but especially people I meet in the city. But the thing is that so that's what my parents did, and then my dad, he didn't have any sort of formal like education or experience and stuff like that. He's kind of like a hustler, finesser back in the day, and he had a lot of network in India, so he would find a lot of ways to make money. But over here, he just had like no one, right? It's like,
did your dad go to school?
He did, I think, in till high school, and then no like college or anything.
So no college education.
Yeah. But he knew a lot. Like I was a handyman. He knew how to like repair and like he knew electronics, repairing houses, all like that handyman work. And so what he would do is like he was working at like a gas station, and then he saved up enough money to eventually own or put like a down payment towards a gas station.
No way, really?
Sold it, and then after that he started buying houses, and then like buying shitty ass houses, fixing them up, and then
he fucking grinded.
Super grinded, super grinded. And then my mom was like a nurse. She had like a formal education, but when she came to America, they had to. It's like apparently when you have like a medical certification in India or something like that, it doesn't really matter in America. So you have to take like
recertify.
Yeah, you have to take some prerequisites essentially. So it means she has to go back to school.
Damn.
So she was working, and then she had kids, and then she had to go back to school, and then she had to go back to school. So I remember when I was a kid, like I was really good at using computers and being a nerd and shit. So I was like help my mom like type out my essays, but I wouldn't know what the hell she was talking about. She would just tell me, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll type it fast. Like just tell me, and I'll type that paragraph in like 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'll type the essay in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Here for 4 hours, and then I get to play it with the computer the rest of the day.
Oh, that's a fun trade-off. It's like
hell, dude, I don't have a computer.
Were you playing like RuneScape and whatnot?
No, I was downloading LimeWire and downloading a bunch of illegal shit to my parents' computer.
My boy was a software engineer for LimeWire. Actually, funny enough, he told me he loved working there when he was. He's much older, obviously.
Yeah, tell him thank you for his hard work. I love that program. It really taught me about the internet, and also I just downloaded so much shit like music, movies, all this shit.
Yeah, everything on the go, which is amazing. Then we'd throw it in the iPod, shitty little iPod. You'd be listening to music and you'd hear like that little advertisement in the beginning.
There you go. I had to load that through iTunes on my my touch wheel. People don't know what that is, but yes, iPod had a touch wheel before. You know what I'm saying? So.
And in your case, did you have any siblings too growing up?
Yeah, I had a little sister. She's 2 years younger than me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was we didn't really get along because I guess we were close in age, so I would like bully her a little bit, and then she would tell me, and then I get in trouble with my parents. So that was the relationship growing up. But then, we just like my parents just worked a lot to provide for us, really.
Yeah,
and I was the older sibling, so I was there when I needed to be.
So you were technically then the first one to get your mom got a higher education. You're the I guess first one in America.
Yeah, I guess I'm the first one in America. Like I have cousins and stuff like that, but they graduated in India and Canada and whatnot. But yeah, in America, it'd be me.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. And I see like obviously your parents have grinded really hard to get you where you're at today. Like what was like the financial situation in college like? Like did you have student loans coming out?
So I'll tell you, I went to Purdue University. I actually dropped out of Purdue.
My boy went to Purdue for
So I actually got 10K. I got 10K to go there. I got a grant if I kept my grades up. And then eventually, I didn't keep my grades up, but then the college was still costing me like 30, it was costing me like 30 some thousand a year.
Out of state.
Tuition. Yeah, out of state, right?
It's
So
expensive.
I was on top of the 10K they were giving me. So it wasn't that much. And so I think after 2 years, like 2.5, like 2 years and then a semester or something like that, I went back. I think I didn't go to school for a semester, figure out what I want to do. Then I went to Stony Brook, and then it took a little longer because I had to retake some classes and stuff like that.
Like a gap semester.
Right.
Almost,
Yeah. Then I took that semester at Stony Brook, and then I didn't graduate. So I actually don't have a degree right now.
Oh shit! No
Yeah.
way. They don't ever check either. Like
They
none
don't
of
ever
my
check.
jobs have actually ever.
They don't ever
checked.
check, and I've never asked my resume. It's only so the thing is that here's the loophole, right?
Yeah.
I just, I say graduate or whatever, blah, blah, blah year. But what you can do on the interview is you can just say, yeah, I'm an alumni from here. Or you can just put, I'm an alumni from Purdue University, which is true.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's not a lie.
This
And
give-
So
yeah.
what happens is this. What you can do is that you can say, okay, let's say you go to school for one, like, let's say you go to Columbia, right?
Yeah.
You go to school at Columbia for 2 semesters, then you drop out. Say, yeah, I went to school to Columbia. You put your year in, alumni.
I'm never gonna question that either.
You
It's not
wouldn't,
like-
you wouldn't ever question that. And then also what happens is this. You tell the recruiter you're alumni. You're not lying. The recruiter says, yeah, okay, you went there. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, recruiter's going to ask you about your experience. Okay. The experience is what's going to make or break you. And then after that, what's going to happen is the recruiter is going to say, okay, this guy went to Columbia. Right. And then you're going to go in your background check. And the background check is always through a third party. So the background check just checks whatever the hell you tell them. So if you tell them you went to Columbia and then dropped out, that information is private. It doesn't get back to the recruiter. So whatever whatever you confide within the background checker, it doesn't go back to the recruiter. So you could just be like, yeah, I went to Harvard on your resume, and then say like, and then you have a Suffolk County community thing. And then what happens is this, you say, I went to Suffolk County Community College or whatever in Long Island. And then, I said I went to Harvard, and then when it comes back, it says, yeah, he passed.
Wait, bro, that's hilarious. Because even I've obviously hired people on my team before. I've never questioned once.
You wouldn't.
And also, but I would assume that HR did. So what about the tools that HR are using today? They have automated tools, verification tools, and whatnot. So like, where those third party tools, like how are they even getting their information? Are they just scraping the web?
No, I mean
Or do they
some of
have
them
access to private
some of them scrape
databases?
some of them scrape the web, some of them go to databases, and some of them just go flat out call you. You understand? Like some of them just call.
So they're really just checking criminal record, if anything. They can't
they're
really check for
right.
school.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, they
Yeah.
can check for school. They could call up the school and say, "Did
If
you
they
go
really
here?"
wanted
If they
to.
wanted to. But the thing
Yeah.
is that the nuance here is that you never say you graduated from there. On the background check, you said, "I went here from this year to this year," and then they go, "Did they go here from this year?" And then the school goes, "Yeah."
So basically, after your first job, because your first job was in web, or it was contract work.
Yeah, it was
more
contract work, but it was
a huge digital. That's a huge. I'm not gonna say the name of the company, but that's like a huge company, and that's how we're doing some of this here today.
Yeah.
How'd you get that?
No, I don't
first
mind
job?
sharing at all. It was a contractor position. It was at Canon, and so the reason I got this job is because I didn't have any experience. I said I studied computer science at Stony Brook, which wasn't a lie.
Yeah.
And it passed on the background check. It's not because the recruiter just said, "Hey, did you study there?" I said, "Yeah."
Amazing.
So I did that, and then they don't really give a shit. You understand? Like they don't. And also the thing is this only works in like tech and software engineering because you can kind of self-teach yourself a lot of stuff, and you can
True.
actually prove it when you talk to the guy.
Yeah.
When I talk to people about technology, they don't have a doubt that I actually understand and use a lot of this shit.
I think
So-
degrees are bullshit. I don't care about degree or what.
Exactly,
I just care
and
about
you shouldn't,
competence
and
as a
that's
human.
why like I kind of went that route because I was like, well, I don't really give a shit about it. Why should anyone else? So, and I'm the one working the job, so it's like if I felt like a piece of paper qualified me, then I don't want that guy.
How are you feeling though when you were first like applying to that job and knowing, you know what I mean? Like what was the
Honestly,
initial thought
I'll tell you this. I sat a while on it because it took a lot of balls for me to drop college and be like, where the fuck am I going to get money now? But the thing
Yeah.
is that I dropped college because I honestly was a good student. Like I had pretty good SAT score. I had AP classes. Like I was slated to graduate early if I stayed at Purdue.
Purdue's hard to get into too for comp
Yeah,
sci. They're a good school for comp
Yeah,
sci
I'm saying like
and
I
engineering,
wasn't a slacker at all. I got money to study CS at Purdue, so it's like they wanted me in the program, and that's the best offer I got. Other ones I did get more money, but they weren't really good programs. So the only thing is that when I went there, it was cool. It was kind of like a cult. And I realized I was like, I'm only in here because I want money. And I'm telling you, I remember the first like orientation week or whatever. They're like, if you're in here for the money, drop the hell out. You're never going to make it.
Yeah, it's a
and
tough
I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of here, brother. Like, are you going to teach me how to make software so I can be fucking sell this shit or not? Like, get the fuck out of here, dog. Like, you can't sit here and tell me I'm not going to make money in the major. I'm paying for this fucking degree. Like, I have a little bit of ego to myself. I'm a smart guy. I think, okay, I can get through this
Everyone
stuff.
should.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
like, I didn't really think anything of it. My only motivation to go to college was make money. So if I can make money otherwise, then why would I go to college?
I mean, that's a great reason to go to college.
Right? Yeah. I
could.
could lie to you and be like, yeah, man, I love history and shit. Like, yeah, brother, we all love history. We all love psychology, but that doesn't pay the bills.
Well, the biggest thing that I tell people, especially throughout the interview process, if someone tells me like one of their main reasons why they're looking elsewhere is not for financial reasons either, I fucking hate that. Because to me, it's like, listen, we're adults here. You can be real with me. Like, money is a big motivator for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're telling me like that has nothing to do with why you're switching jobs at all.
Oh, hell yeah.
Kinda,
you saw how many
crazy to
times
me.
I jumped on my resume. There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I have a, getting into that, I have a ton of questions. And then just from your expertise, your SEO expertise, I have a ton of questions there too. But maybe going full circle a bit and to start things off here, maybe letting like the audience know a little bit about what your official title is today and how much you're currently making.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. So I guess I have a couple titles, officially I get checks for. I guess one of them is SEO Director. That's an administrative title. Total pay they pay me is $150K.
That's awesome.
And what they do, and they have offered me no stock or any sort of incentive. I just get the regular benefits and no stock plan. The other job I work for is an SEO analyst. That's at Tech 5. You can think of FANG, top 5 tech company. I'm an SEO analyst for them for one of their websites, and then they pay me $105K, and then I have $40K in stock options, and so total that puts me up at like 200K. Sorry, now 250K salary, and then like 40K vested stock. It's like I get a little bit of stock every year, so it's not really that liquid.
A
but it's
lot of things to unpack here.
Yeah,
A lot of things to unpack here.
Yeah.
So just for the sake of everyone else listening here, the context, the 40K stock options that you're talking about, are
they're
the
vested.
RSUs?
Yeah, they're vested. Yeah, over a 3-year period. So every
Gotcha.
year I get.
So you're getting
30%.
that, of the stock. So for everyone else, like
I got
that's
one period. I got some
Yeah.
stock. So
pretty much it's if you do your time, you're pretty much getting paid, is what that means
Yep.
for those options. Now, what you said was very interesting. You're working 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah. I am.
The SEO director. Are you a manager? Are you an actual manager? Like, are
So
there
I
people
will
under you,
I will
or-
break this down. Okay, so this is what I heard. This is a really good explanation of why that is. Okay, I'm 27. My title is SEO director. On my payroll, it says administrative. So it's not, I am a director. By whatever the title entails. But I'll tell you this. The way a finance company works or financial institutions work is there's a lot of directors, there's a lot of VPs, there's a lot of this, there's a lot of that, there's a lot of presidents, all these cool titles. I think the reason is they give these titles is because banks know that, like these top financial institutions, and they know that with their jobs, and what they do is they can offer you like life insurance policies per your title, and per your title increases like your life insurance. And what they can do is when they pay those life insurance policies, they can actually borrow or like loan against it as a company. So
you're
I think
saying that's why the companies inflate their title. Why financial
that's what
companies
I've
inflate their
heard.
titles?
I don't know like that's a credible source, but that makes a lot of sense to me as to why my company at the X financial institution is that way. But anyway, yes, I'm an SEO director. The position calls for 5 to 6 years of SEO experience, and pretty much what I do is I manage the organic marketing channel of the portion of a big website.
So you're an individual contributor.
I am an individual contributor. I have another director that works alongside me, and we both answer to a VP.
Got you.
And then that VP answers to board execs. That's That's it.
Oh wait, so is the VP just like a man? If you're thinking of a regular structure, is VP just like a manager?
That's my manager. Yeah, that's the person I answer to.
Yeah, dude, that's super interesting. So the 2 full-time jobs, like, how are you balancing?
Well, this only
the pay is great.
So the pay is nice, checks are nice, and the way I was balancing it before was actually one of my teams is based remotely in Seattle. So what I can do is I can divvy up the day. If I wake up at 6 a.m., I can do all the work until like 9 and then remote in at the other job. And so what I do is I wake up at 6:30, I work, and then I turn it in. I turn that 9 o'clock work at 12 when they wake up. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm working your hours, this and that, but, bullshit. I'm just fucking remote working. I got the laptop open. Meanwhile, I'm like playing video games and shit like that. But basically what I'm telling you is that it's only possible to remote. You understand? Like remote is super advantageous. If you want to make money and you want to make it now, the world is your oyster. Don't fucking go in the office. Whatever the fuck they tell you, don't do that. You understand?
And I mean, those aren't small companies either. Those are 2 big companies. It's so funny because everyone is always like, oh, we hear stories about people doing this, people doing that. We don't believe that, yada yada. That was actually one of the controversial videos that we had on social media. People were saying that there's no way that this dude was working 2 full-time jobs. It was another story in the past. But
I mean, no, people will say what they want. I don't have to lie. I don't have to show anyone anything because I pay my taxes on it, and the government knows. Like, IRS knows. I did my taxes. You don't understand? They know, and I collect checks from both of them. Nothing's happened. I paid Social Security on both. Like, we're good. You understand?
Well, where'd you first come up with the idea to like?
It's
it's
a very interesting story. So it was actually unintentional. I always kind of had it in the back of my mind, and I just thought so I was working in the office originally as a contractor, right? And this was I'm thinking when I dropped out, there was let's say I was slated to graduate in 2018, so like maybe 2017, 2018 between there. Mm-hmm. I was working and I was going into the office, right? So I was like, damn, this sucks because I'm just going to the office and I'm working on the computer, right? Imagine I could just fucking do this shit at home. And then what happened was this. I actually got another job. I got a job as an agency in the city. And then I had to
that was a big agency too.
Yeah. That's a cool agency. Yeah. They had a lot of money to throw around, so they had to hire contractors. So basically what happened is that I worked in their office and I was commuting. And once I got there, it turns out my team was all from like Long Island as well. They're all commuting. Like everyone was commuting from a different spot. Like we were just all like going hiking an hour, and then one guy was in the city. So that guy was showing up, and then we were all showing up late, all this stuff. So he's like, yo, if you guys want to just show up like once or twice a week and then work remotely, it's cool. Cause like it's just mad unorganized. And if you just sign in all at the same time, we can actually just get the work done. You understand? We can never get meetings. And then we were like, hell yeah, we don't gotta fucking show up to the stupid work, like pull up on the stupid fucking LIR slow ass train. So I was like, all right, we're cool. We're working remotely, right? And then so I was working that job. It was a contract though. So it was a project-based contract. So eventually after a couple months, it expires. So I'm looking for a new job. So I get picked up on a new job. I get a new contract somewhere else. And then I'm like, yo, they let me start as soon as possible. So let me go, all right, I can start as soon as possible. I'm just chatting with the recruiter. Mm-hmm. And needless to say, they're like, can you start really like next week? And I'm like, damn, you know what's crazy? I already said I was going to start as soon as possible, but I'm still working this job for like another 3 weeks. So let me just, let me take this remote job and let me, bring this laptop to work and finesse it. So I kind of just played it by ear because honestly, bro, I didn't really give a fuck. I had nothing to lose. Like it was my first job. I didn't have my own place. I had no money. Like I would just chill. I was at my parents' crib. So I was like, fuck it. I got access to a car. Let's get a job. Let's make some money. Wow. And I knew I was always capable of getting a job. So it's like, if they don't, what's the worst? I get fired. I get fired. I get a new job. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a bad consequence at all. Just fucking do whatever you want.
It seems like once you get that first job, that's when it gets a lot easier because before that, you're still trying to evaluate your self-worth.
Something else I want to say is that, I make it sound all easy because it's super fun to talk about. But let me tell you something. The way I was applying to jobs, I was doing 30, 40 applications a day.
Let's talk about that. First job. Like, how did you even get...
Dude, I burned through interviews crazy. I failed like so many fucking interviews. I especially was a software development, or I was looking for like any sort of like development experience because that's what I wanted to do. I had CS, or I was studying
software
CS
engineering.
Yeah, proper. Like any sort of development. I was really mostly interested in full stack development because I loved building websites and I also loved building web applications because I thought it was so sick that people could actually access full apps without downloading shit like that. That was beautiful to me because like not like just having a web-based app back in the day was super sick. So that's why I liked I wanted to full stack, and I'm like, websites is sick as shit. People who make software nerds, they just want to fucking do 10 gigabyte programs and no one's going to download that shit. Access a website, everyone can see it on their phone and shit. Yeah. So that's what I liked. So I was into that. I was into full stack development. I wanted to get any sort of development job, whether it's front end, back end, whatever. Like I needed anything. So I was applying to so many jobs. Like, and I was getting offers because I was like, yo, I built all this shit. Like, I got a GitHub from college. You know?
So you're getting offers.
I wasn't getting offers. I was getting interviews. Like, I was getting interviews. Yeah, I was getting interviews. And so I was building all this shit on GitHub. I was like, yeah, like I can write a little bit of code here and there. Yeah. And so I was doing that, and I was failing so many interviews, like just
they're
like
tough, right? Like,
getting destroyed,
tough,
like live coding, all this stuff. And then I remember I did an Amazon interview early on. I told him like, is there anything I can improve on? And I remember he roasted me so bad, but it really like shaped me. Like, I remember his response. I said, is there anything I can like do better next time or like moving forward, like on these type of interviews? I'm struggling with them. I was like kind of desperate asking this dude. I knew I just failed it. He goes, besides coding aptitude, nah, no. I was like, oh shit, like it's brutal. Like he's a little bit sick. I just wasted his time. Like I really got to get good at this shit. So at that
you
point,
weren't even offended. You just felt like you wasted his time. Like you.
I mean, I understood. I understood. Like I would have probably said the same shit. I'm kind of like in his boat. Like if I know shit, this clown's wasting my time. He can't even finish like a fucking problem. So I was like, oh shit. And then my boy's like, yeah, bro, you thought this shit was easy, bro? I took off like 9 months and I did leak code problems for like, all this shit to get my first job. And I was like, oh, what leak code? Like, and then I was like, yo, they're asking all these fucking questions in the interview. So I did that.
Bro, they make it seem like, especially in college, they make it seem like it's going to be really easy to get a job.
Super easy.
For software engineering. You always hear there's so many software engineering jobs available. Yeah, but it's fucking hard.
It's super hard, and you also have to have relevant experience. Like you can be a software engineer if you haven't built the exact shit they're looking for. They're like, yeah, you're fucking useless. They don't want you. And sometimes like it just filters out. Like you can even get really niche with your languages and stuff. Like I know some full stack developers that only do like front end because they're just so good at CSS, and then they can't find anyone else that does CSS.
I know just straight front end developers that don't touch back end at all. Yeah. Like that's very
front end is sick.
Nowadays.
It's wavy. People shit on it because it's a markup language, but it's super important for SEO, which is what I transitioned into, and that's why it helps.
Yeah. So landing that your first job kind of veered off into not. Software engineering proper. No,
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't object oriented. It was actually just more so front end. Front end, more so building out pages, building out product pages. Copy editing where I need to in terms of structuring the pages. Like,
so how'd you get that job? Because that was a big company. I mean, that was.
So I applied. This was like post like I don't know like the fourth like 46th failed interview, and also like it was a contract position, so like the pressure wasn't that crazy, right? They just needed someone to do the project. Like they just needed people to create product pages and all this shit. So I was doing that, and the thing is that when I went there, it was like kind of a group interview. So at that point, it was just like a crazy ass interview. It was crazy easy ass interview, and the reason is because that company had like a huge fucking contract with Canon, which is that company I was working for, and so they wanted to place a lot of people fast. Like I was like right place, right time, I think, and they were, I guess, willing to hire me. Like even I knew what I was doing, but I guess my experience was really limited,
So that's why so technically you're contracted for Canon. Contract work, which that's actually a very popular way people get their first job as software engineers. It's actually through contract work through like an agency that got a contract from a big company.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. I even consider the reason I know that is because I even consider that myself because I'm like I couldn't find a fucking job when I was coming out. Of course,
dude. I didn't give a shit. I just needed money, bro. Like I don't give a shit. Like and then they talk about like a lot of people shit on contract jobs, dude. Contract jobs pay quite a bit. Like they pay a lot of money, especially. I'll tell you this: contract is super, super sick when you have full time because you don't have to worry about the insurance. Just collect your fucking checks and go home.
Or if you're under 26, like if you're in
just sick. Like, and that's the thing. My mom was a nurse around Stony Brook, so we had my insurance. We had an insurance.
You got the good.
Got the good insurance, the good hospital insurance. Like the doctors at the hospital see me first. We're on the list and shit.
Thinking a little bit about how much you're making today. So if you think from a salary perspective, that's around $250K.
Yeah.
And then 40K you get what is that once a year?
Yeah, I'm getting yeah. No. So right now it's 40K distributed over 3 years.
How you like currently managing your finances today? So like with that kind of salary, what are you typically paying on rent? What are you typically paying on monthly expenses?
Yeah,
what does all that look like?
I'm pretty frugal. Like I picked a pretty rundown apartment, so I didn't have to pay a lot on rent. I actually got a pretty good deal during COVID. I paid like $24.50 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
For the whole
2-bedroom, 2-bath, and Hell's Kitchen. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I got that place in during COVID pricing.
And they didn't ask you for more because rent prices have
well,
been
they've been trying to kick me out and shit like that, but I didn't sign a contract, another lease contract, so I'm forced to be on month to month.
Oh,
and I'm not negotiating with them.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have to. New York State lets me as long as I pay my rent. Or they can't evict me. You know what I'm saying? If you ever want to invest in property, do not consider New York City, man. If you want to rent something out.
Why do you say that?
Like you just get like fucked on so many like tenant laws. Like all the courts and stuff like that are in the favor of not the owner, you know, the tenants. And it makes sense. Like you don't want New York City to add more homeless people, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
My friend just bought a place here, and he mentioned it didn't over like a span of 15 years, it probably increased the value by like 8%. So maybe not the best investment.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I'm just saying, like people will say like, yeah, just invest, it's guaranteed. It's not. And
Yeah,
most likely it's more headache than it's going to pay off. So
yeah.
New York City it's crazy right now. And yeah, so basically like, yeah, I have that apartment. Landlord hates me, but you know, I give him his checks. And then basically what I did was when I was working 2 jobs for a little bit, just you know, transferring that here and there, hopping off. So I was doing that, and what I did was, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, what I did was actually, so I've had that apartment like 2020, right? Like I would say I was slated to move out sometime 2022 initially. I got like a 1.5 year initially on the lease.
Gotcha.
And so during that time, I got like a girlfriend, and so I wanted to live with her. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get another apartment. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got money. Let me just go get another apartment with her. So I got another apartment with her, and I had that apartment. So I was like, all right, shit, what am I about to do with it? And then my boy, crazy. My boy, he posted a story. His name's Brandon Brown, by the way. I just know him through trading and stuff like that. He'll probably see this maybe at some point, but he posted a story talking about he got an Airbnb. He got paid off his Airbnb off of a previous apartment he had or something like that.
He got paid off his Airbnb?
Off like a previous apartment he had. Like he had an apartment and he Airbnb'd it. And he's like on West Coast, like LA, around LA, Hollywood area, I guess, or at the time. So he had an apartment that he took and then he wanted to move out. So he Airbnb'd it instead.
Which is illegal in New York.
Yeah. So
which is hilarious.
What you can do, I mean, it's illegal in New York, but so is like half the apartments you can rent, right?
I mean, quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Well, no, sorry, not illegal. It could be depending
it could be if you're dumb. But basically, what I can say is, so what you can do is you can take that apartment and you can just rent and you can just throw it on a New York. And I'll tell you, and this is the same thing with LA. That's how I know you can do this in New York. So the thing is the sort of gray area or the loophole is that when you rent out your apartment, you can't do short stays. That's illegal because you don't own the apartment. You have to give these people like 30-day stays. But the thing is, I'm in the middle of New York City. Like people need to stay here for months at a time, for work, for travel, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like people are not staying a month in Arkansas, but they gotta do a month in New York City.
I got a friend trying to find a place.
They need a month, something like that. So a lot of those guys, they come through and they rent apartments here. So what you can do is if you're renting long stays, Airbnb doesn't give a fuck. They let it fly. Send me the checks, yo.
Dude, that's hilarious.
So what I did was, instead of paying, I rented the place out. I collected double the rent, and you were
able to get double the money for the rent.
Yeah, and I lowballed that shit too. I made that shit cheap. I could have gotten more, but I wanted to stay low because I needed that place booked at all times. So
are you still doing that now?
Nope.
Okay, so that was prior.
That was prior. Actually, I'm gonna finish up my rent lease this month. I'm gonna give back the apartment, and then I'm gonna probably move somewhere else with my money.
Okay, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm here for the end of the month.
Yeah, so you still got a month's time of what you're paying, which the $24.50 total you mentioned is insane. Like, what is your biweekly check look like? Like cash after tax?
Oh, okay. So for the bank,
or maybe that's too much. Maybe like think about it in the sense of like, what do you think you're getting up per month? Like cash?
Yeah. Okay,
per month?
Okay, yeah. Like in my checks, in my bank account, right? Yeah. No, this is a great question. So I'll tell you right now. I actually did this. It's about like 12 to 12.4K cash.
Thinking 12,000, you're spending 2,500 in rent. Like, where's the rest of the money going typically?
Honestly, man, I live a pretty fun lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I spend a lot of money on experiences. So like I went to Vegas. I lost some money there. What's it called? I buy myself like cool laptops, cool computers, cool technology. I also spend a lot on food. I got a girlfriend, so I used to take her out a lot, and then spend money on hot pot and Korea barbecue. And to eat in the city, it's like 150. 150 if me and her, sometimes I go to the nice spot and then I go spend 200, you know what I'm saying, for the meal. And sometimes I go out once every weekend. So, it's like $1,000 there, $1,000 there. Typically I'll have like anywhere between 3 to 5 cash left over. So then I'll either invest it into a business or throw it into an investing account or an options portfolio, futures trading. And then I'll make money from that too.
Outside of your rent, which is a $2,500, you're spending anywhere from what? Like, how much did you say? 3,000 to 5,000 left over for those options trading?
Exactly.
So you're spending like 5,000, 7,000.
Yeah, something like that.
A month.
Whatever.
So is there a specific budget for it, or are you just kind of?
No, bro. It's like I don't really, honestly, like I have a very loose budget because I just push myself to make more money and more money. If I'm not making more money and I have to look at my account, I'm doing something wrong, to be honest. So
gotcha.
I also live within my means too. I know I can't afford a $3,000 spend every week or something like that. So I'll save up for a little. I'll be like, all right, I won't spend anything for like a month, and I'll go buy some like $3,000-$4,000.
I mean, in that situation, it's easy not to have to worry about the money too, because you have those two full-time jobs together. That's a very I'm getting like good liquid income, and that right there is like good life-changing money in the sense that it's not life-changing, but it could affect someone's quality of life, right? It could pay bills, and it could remove a lot of headache to actually enable people to do what they want to do. So the thing is that for me, I don't really give a shit about jobs. I care about money because the money is the time, and I'm willing to say that because I work hard at my jobs, and I think I work harder than a lot of my peers and a lot of people I knew or who I grew up with because I think they live like kind of posh or pretty pampered lifestyles in Long Island. Mm-hmm. And so when I moved to the city, I really love like that hustle culture and stuff because, I was just really excited to like make money for myself and stuff, even though my parents provided for me and we did make a little bit more money growing up as I got older. I just always wanted stuff of my own. Like I don't want to take from my parents because they worked hard for it. So yeah,
I don't want to take from,
If you don't mind me asking then, like if money is like a huge and very important factor for you right now, like when do you know you have enough, or like what's the end goal for you in particular?
The end goal, I'll tell you, the end goal is I retire 30 plus. Like I'm just not trying to work. Eventually I'll have enough money saved up to either live off of, or I've invested into a business or, made some good investments. I like to go into options and trading and stuff. And so there's money I'm able to pull out from there as well.
Gotcha.
And all this stuff that I do, I'm able to do because I'm remotely. No one is watching me. So I can just have like 4 laptops open, 4 screens open at one time and do everything.
So if I'm hearing that correctly, then what you're saving up for is really to be able to not
just
like
be done with life.
You're still going to be in
investments. I'm still going to be investments. I'm still going to do business.
But like retire professionally.
Yeah, just retire professionally. Like not be a corporate nerd, not be a slave, not be a code monkey, I really, so here's the thing. So I studied CS, and honestly, I'm not going to lie. Like people will say it's like a positive environment in college and stuff like that. Dude, at Purdue University, CS is like a cult, man. Like they really try to make you live and breathe CS. But I'm like, I have other interests. You know what I'm saying? Like I like it because it's the most efficient way to make money. And that's how, like, dude, I looked at all the majors and I looked at like the average salaries for each major when I was deciding colleges. And I was like, okay, I can obviously tell like, there's a really, really heavy fucking skew in math-based majors, like, majors that like rely on core mathematics, right? And so it's like, and all the engineering positions, all the CS positions, like all the even actuary science or like quantum finance and stuff, all like crazy math majors and stuff. So I'm like, math is the shit, okay? And then science is pretty cool, like bio, medical, all that shit. That's pretty cool. But the time investment is so fucking crazy that it's actually not cool at all.
So for you choosing your major, the only thing you looked at was a money perspective.
Of course, dude.
Return of investment.
Of course, I'm making an investment. I'm going to my college. I'm wasting my fucking awesome young ass handsome years, and I'm also using my parents' money to do that. So it's like, of course, it's an investment.
Well, a lot of people don't even think it like. What would you say like made you even think about it in that way?
Because I don't. I mean, here's the thing. I don't really subscribe to the psyop of like academic institutions because the academic institutions are like an indoctrination to like corporate world and whatever.
I like how you said psyop, by the way.
That's
a fun word.
yeah, and like what I'm telling you is that like they just like I'm telling you they just lie. Like they tell you it's for this, it's all a business. Academics is all a business. Everything is money motivated, and people who have the most money, they got the control, they got the leverage, they got the influence to make decisions on behalf of everyone else. So the thing is that when I understood that, I stopped valuing schools and what they were teaching me and just really cared about what I love to learn. You understand?
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
And the thing is, I don't shun all academics. I actually really enjoyed it, but it doesn't prepare you for the world. It doesn't tell me what I need to do in life.
Well, Purdue, you could it gets cold as fuck there, so you could either drink or study.
You can drink or study, and that's the only thing there was to do, and I did neither of it. No, I did definitely drink, but I don't actually enjoy that much.
Well, you've learned a lot of shit now, obviously. Like you've had a ton of experience, like 5 to 6 years of experience in what you're doing right now. And I did have some questions around just like SEO in general. So maybe I think a good question, something that I was actually really interested in. So to put this into layman's terms, it's like, how powerful could SEO actually be? Like for us, like what's a real world example?
This is a super great question.
You know
what
I mean?
This is super great. And
give me a real world example of like how fucking powerful SEO can actually be.
So the thing is that for science and like, for example, like something that's cloudy already, it's fucked on Google. Like, like nutrition for some reason, we don't know like enough about it. Like there are just so many unknowns. Like you can't determine like a conclusion on Google. So you just have to go do it yourself.
Yeah.
So yes, in terms of your question, like it can be manipulated, it's a game, and that's what my job is. Like I get paid to get exposure on certain search results, which will convert into traffic or organic conversions. Dude, I've witnessed search results for like, is white rice healthy or is brown rice healthier? Like I've seen them switch like throughout the years. Like the white rice is healthier, and then the top result is no. Actually, brown rice is actually unhealthier because their body doesn't process it well. The processing actually helps us digest the rice. So at Wall Street Journal, they have a newsroom, and there's a team of not only editors but also SEO editors, and the SEO editors overlook all the content that comes out and make sure it's optimized. And then, if you're a news publisher, that's when it gets real crazy. You understand? Like you get crazy authority, and Google actually puts you in a special club if you're like a top 20 publisher or something like that. You have special privileges on Google. Like you get to appeal on their news section and things that go straight to people's phones. Dude, the thing is that when you're working for a publisher, like you can really just push all the biases you want. Like super, like, you don't understand? Like, dude, Wall Street Journal is like, I guess from when I was working, they're pretty liberal sided, right? They're like,
they own Business Insider, right?
Yeah, they do.
And so like that hit piece with Dave Portnoy, for instance, they basically knew that they could just publish whatever. And
it's all the editors, like the top chiefs or whatever they feel like goes. You understand?
Someone like you was back behind the scenes reading the article, making sure it was SEO.
Yeah, and then I didn't have to agree with any of them. Also, like working in news is just super, super negative too, because only the negative shit gets publicized, and then we're like responsible for pushing like negative shit.
Pushing that.
No, seriously, and it's actually a problem, dude. On a serious matter, bro. Like, I'll tell you this, dude, like America will never ever fix like school shootings, right? Something like that. And the reason is because it's actually so widely covered on the news as like a mass hysteria event, which is fine, but you're actually giving the shooter and the killer like the attention that they want. They want to be known in infamy. You understand? It's kind of like, so when they do that, and it's kind of contributing to effect. There's something on a Wikipedia thing I read, of course not the most credible source to your academic advisors, but anyway, I went on Wikipedia and there's like something called like mass shooting phenomena or something like that. And basically what happens is that the more you iterate and reverberate it through the media airwaves, the more it's actually going to happen. And you'll actually see that like they just go more and more every time, and we do all the for some reason like all the job we can covering it. Actually, you should just like announce that this guy. It's very fortunate for victims, of course, highlight the victims, remember them, but then, you can't be publicizing that.
Well, what's fucked up is that there's not you. I'm talking about they have teams of people like you that then take that article and make it SEO optimized.
Yeah, of course, dude. They pay me to do that shit. Of course,
shootings.
Of course, yeah. And so
it
it's
exemplifies the problem. Like when you think about high level,
bro. Of course,
problem,
dude.
But that exemplifies the problem.
Of course. I'm telling you, bro. I was part of the problem, but that's the thing, bro. I was getting checks, but I don't want. But the reason why I'm exposing that is because, dude, like, I actually kind of struggled with that. That's why I ended up leaving Wall Street Journal. I really wanted to leave them
because of the negative news.
Yeah, I do. It's just a negative environment to work with. I believe in, kind of like energy and positivity and stuff. And I don't believe news is that. I believe news is super negative.
Bro, that is fucking crazy. I've never met someone that had to
but no one
actually opt like.
Yeah, but no one will actually have but no one will actually have the balls to say it. There are plenty of people, but no one will just have the balls to say it.
Dude,
but Wall Street Journal doesn't pay me checks anymore. So what are they gonna say?
That's the nature of the beast, though. If you're joining a publisher,
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, like,
you gotta sensationalize shit,
bro. People can say I'm responsible for all this shit. I mean, I don't see people crucifying Facebook developers whenever they fucking sway an election and shit. Like
people
I
forget stuff in like
right?
6 months.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't.
Yeah,
so it is what it is. Yeah, I did that, and I'll tell you, I didn't like it, but people do things they don't like for a check.
Yeah,
especially and that's the thing. That's where I realized that's actually kind of like an inner motivation of mine. I don't want to do things for a check. I want to have enough money where I don't have to.
Where you're at now too, and thinking about it this way, how do you make more money? So from where you're at now, do you want to get promotions in those two jobs?
I'm actually done. That's a great question. I'm actually done climbing corporate ladder. I'm actually just going to close to my job. If they don't like my performance, maybe I'll get fired or get a severance. And then I'm just going to focus on my own business with what do I do. My business is what I work in is I actually have a web development agency and that also does SEO, like web development SEO agency. So recently I've just been onboarding clients this year and stuff. So if they leave me, it doesn't matter.
Wait, no shit. How's that business doing? What's the financials in that business?
It's pretty small right now. So far, you can say I've built an average of $5K a month monthly.
That's amazing.
It's all right, but the thing is that it's not actually monthly. It's just that's an average because I just do project based. Some people just want websites that I deliver to them.
It's not recurring revenue.
Yeah, some people want retainers. So it's it's an average. Some months is good because I did extra projects, but then I have a retainer.
So you get it out what you put in.
Yeah, and so basically. Yeah, exactly. And so what I do is, I also contract a lot of other people under me. So I take their money, I charge them a premium, and then I get other people to do it for me, just like every other business owner.
But you basically know it's because you have a lot of experience in this.
Yeah, and I can oversee it. Exactly, I can oversee it, and
which makes sense. That's why you have the flexibility to do that.
Yeah, and I can also just get in and do it for myself. If the client needs a code change, I just do it. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this then. How do you see, this could actually help you, but how do you see AI coming into the fold and with
AI is today? The waviest shit in the world. ChatGPT is the craziest program I've ever seen in my life. I use it for everything, even my emails, and people who say it's not what it is and it doesn't do anything.
They're just idiotic.
You need to understand, go study prompt engineering, go figure out how you can make it do stuff, and then enjoy. That's all my advice is because it's crazy to me. It's mind blowing to me. What do you think about it with
SEO? How is that going to impact you and your SEO?
It's fire. It automates all my shit.
It's helping. It's making your life easier.
Super helpful. I use zero brain power and I've developed scripts with ChatGPT to automate basic functions at my job.
So what happens though to SEO analysts?
And that's what they don't teach you as a developer. They don't teach you how to develop for yourself. I had to learn by myself to learn how to script, to automate tasks. And now I've used CS, used software engineering background to automate my marketing job.
And that's why I've always told
that's
people.
Fire.
I've told a lot of. No, that's awesome.
You could. That's what I'm saying. That's some real world shit. It's not. You go fucking work for a company and build an app, man.
Yeah.
It's not you sit here and develop menus. You actually use it to improve your life. That's the whole basis of it. That's the most fire thing. People. That's why at Purdue they don't teach you that shit. They want to. They want to coach you up. They want to mess with your mind and say it's not for money. You got to be a nerd because you love it. Make money, man.
But do you think SEO jobs will get taken away with AI eventually if people aren't using Google as the predominant search? What are your thoughts on that?
It definitely changes it. It definitely changes the scope of things right now. So here's the thing. What's so funny is because I actually use ChatGPT as a search engine right now because I think it's such a breath of fresh air. Because if you're an SEO, you know what the hell is going on the back end. I know why people have those rankings. You understand? I may know what agency this company even worked for to get that ranking.
So as an SEO specialist, you just trust ChatGPT.
I trust ChatGPT way more than I do SEO because dude, they're fucking changed. The fucking Google changed. You understand?
So then how did what happens to jobs then? If even you as a person in SEO that trusts fucking ChatGPT so much, then what happens to the jobs? It's
a great question. So the jobs are still going to stay because the thing is that there's a lot of portions of SEO. SEO is all encompassing. It's everything about your site to actually how your site's structured, to how it's hosted, Depending on how it's hosted, it can slow down your site. Depending on like, down to the images, your slow ass images, your files you're hosting. So it tracks everything. So you have to have some development background to even make suggestions or changes to actually like move the needle in the right way. So that's not going to go away because I just use all my CS background to advise that. But the thing is that the way your content is presented, the best practices, that's all going to change because now we have to play some robot games, like it's a different beast. But yeah, it's gonna change. SEO has already changed. Yeah, SEO is already ever changing as well. You understand?
Like,
Like
it's gonna be a different kind of SEO. So it sounds like what you're saying, which kind of makes sense because even like if ChatGPT is using like information from Yelp, for instance, it's like, hey, what restaurant I want to go to? It's just gonna assume based on the most views.
Yeah,
as well.
and you know what? What I've noticed is that SEO just gets more complex, and also it becomes more cloudy like every year. People don't know. People know less and less. So it's becoming niche. I've noticed that before COVID, SEO wasn't getting paid that much. And after COVID, because people started transitioning their businesses digitally, the need for SEO like shot up so crazy. Like, dude, it's unheard of to get like 6-figure salaries in SEO, but only now you can do that.
Well, now.
So I just kind of like was in the right place, right
salaries, time. Every salary you mentioned was pretty on par with what I saw for average salaries around there. But, and like thinking about all these things, I know we talked a lot about your career, your expertise, and how we got here. Maybe talking a little bit about New York City in itself too, the lifestyle here.
Yeah, I would love to.
I know you mentioned like 5 to 7K usually.
Burn that shit very fast.
Burn that shit.
In New York City, yeah.
What are you spending that on? Like, is it just going out and
yeah, I mean, like, so back in the day, like when I was, I guess like a single guy, I was definitely going out spending money for sure, spending money on bars, outings, all that stuff like that. But I got a girlfriend, and so really, it's outings with her. Specifically, it's replaced with that.
So experiences
like vacations, birthday presents, this, that. Also, like,
gotcha.
If I want a new phone, I get a new laptop, I get the new game, get the new console, whatever I want, pretty much. And so, I the thing is that when my parents were growing up, I felt like kind of guilty asking them for shit. You understand? Because I knew they worked so hard, and I just felt like a clown. If my parents like. My dad would not have dinner one day so we could eat a little bit more. And then like, what I'm going to ask my dad for a fucking PS2? Like, that's some fucking clown shit. You understand? Like, I'll smack the shit. My son did that, I'll smack the shit out of him. You understand? No, but I'm saying like, I felt bad as a kid because I had that realization at a young age. So I just waited till I got money and then I'll ask my parents for shit. I just get it myself. Like, get it myself. So right now I'm in like that spending phase where I'm like, whatever I want, I need. So that's what I've been doing now. And the reason is because I don't really plan to make less money or the stagnant amount of money. I just plan to make more and more money every year. And I've done that ever since I've done full time. So I'm like really proud of sticking to that goal of myself. And that's why I don't really have, I'm not really believing a lot in savings and stuff. And also people are like, well, you can use your money to buy a house and stuff like that, this, that. Well, the thing is that I don't want to use my own money to buy a house. I want to use the bank's money and play with that and, get a loan and just pay a little bit down and then maybe I'll offer the house
a little bit better.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Home rates a little bit better as well. So I'm actually having fun spending some money. And the reason I'm having fun spending some money is because inflation is crazy right now. That shit is going down the drain. Just spend it. Don't hold it.
And with
it's not saving season. You have to spend it right now. I'm serious.
Well, it's always a topic of conversation. It's like, okay, you're in your 20s in New York City.
Yeah,
we're never gonna be in our 20s again either. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Also, like I kind of work my ass, to be here. You know, what I'm saying? I put myself here, so I'm gonna enjoy, and I did, and now I'm a little bit more slowed down. I don't really enjoy a lot of the nightlife and all that other stuff, all that degenerate stuff. I will say that there's a highlight of my club career, I guess. Like this is where I retired. Basically, I was talking to two girls at once, and they're pretty good looking. I was just chatting them up and introducing myself, and then we were having a nice conversation at some bar. And then actually, Freddie Gibbs was there, like Freddie Gibbs, the rapper.
Oh yeah, no
and
shit.
And so Freddie Gibbs was there. He had like his whole crew. He had a big ass like fucking iced out chain. So I'm like, damn, like I thought I was doing pretty good, but how can I compete now? This guy got the fucking big ass chain flashing across the room. You got a crowd when you step in. So I'm like, damn, all right, cool. And then actually the girls were still talking to me. We were having chilling out. But actually Freddie Gibbs comes over and he daps me up and he's like, what's up, player? And then he actually daps me up and then he kind of like, pretty much hijacks the girls and stuff like that. But I was like, damn. And then
were you starstruck?
I was a little starstruck, but I was just so flattered that, what I'm saying? Like he called me player. But he got the big ass diamond chain.
You're flattered he called you player.
He's a rapper, brother.
You're
like
stuck on
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Like you heard that? He called me player.
You didn't care about the girls at all.
Like, bro.
What would you say, like someone coming into New York, what salary do you think?
Yo, this
they
is a
would
great
need?
question. I'm telling you right now, in New York City, if you're making under 250K a year, you are a brokey. And the reason you're a brokey is because that's a high salary. Like most people make under that, and I can't make above that without my multiple incomes. Okay, so it's a hard salary to obtain, especially at this young age. But in your 20s. But I'm telling you, you're just a brokey because you can't live how you want to. Like people, when they live here, they have to compromise on something, whether it's your time, your commute, your living spaces. So if you're compromising on something, you're a brokey, and that's what it is. Because the people who are not compromising, they're just paying way more than you. That's what it is, man. Like
That's a hot take, but I love it.
You know what?
But
I mean,
it's not unreasonable. The reasoning, though, is not unreasonable.
right. I mean, maybe it's a
not
hot take. I mean, maybe it sounds like a little condescending. I'm shaming people, but really, I want to spark some motivation or just understand that, yo, it takes a lot to work here. And I'm telling you, a lot of these people, they're lying about their apartments. They're getting help from their parents. They're doing this. They're doing that.
Most people are, yeah.
Most people are.
From what you
So the thing is that what happens is when I see someone's making like 70K a year, right, and they're living in Long Island City, I know that. Look, I know like the real estate very well. Your apartment's not going for less than $3,000 a month. So either you're fucking eating noodles every day, or mommy and daddy are sending you a check. You understand? So like. The math doesn't add up a lot of times, so people are just like not transparent because they don't want to say mom and dad are paying for it.
No, that's super realistic. Because anyone that I know here,
Of course.
I obviously know a lot of people here that are making the 60K.
Of course you do. That's a very average. That's a very going
but
rate.
a lot of them either financial paid for by the parents, like their rent, for instance, which is a lot. If you take away the rent, that's already a huge.
It's a huge amount.
Huge payment gone. Or they're compromising like fucking crazy. They're living deep in Brooklyn.
They're living deep in Brooklyn. They got to go an hour in office.
Buy all groceries.
There you go.
They don't eat out. So you're right. Like
so there is a compromise. And I'm telling you, bro, if there's anyone to figure out there's no compromise, it's me. I would have already done it. You understand?
So
but I've been here.
80K range then sus. It means it's like some shit's going on.
If you're
behind the
living in
scenes.
Manhattan and you're on 60 to 80K a year, either you're like
some shit's going down.
Some shit's going down, or you live with like 5 roommates. That's the only way I can see it. You understand? That's the only way.
Which is it's far and few between. You're not gonna get that.
And that's what I'm saying. And if you live with 5 roommates, that's an inconvenience in itself. I don't want to hear it. You understand? I don't care if you're 4 boys, your best friends, your girlfriends. It's an inconvenience. Understand? Everyone wants their own place. Stop lying to yourselves, everybody. New York City, stop lying.
But I'd be interested to ask you then, because I'm curious to hear your answer here. But like, what would you say is your biggest financial regret? My biggest
financial regret is staying in the city as long as I did and paying city taxes here. What I wish I would have done a couple years ago is get my 2 remote jobs and live in Miami as soon as possible. Live in Florida as soon as possible.
Is Miami the goal then?
No, it's not. It's not Miami specifically. The reason why I like Miami is because it's East Coast and the tax bracket or the tax laws are way more lax there. And also, it's just a beachy ass area. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on the East Coast, and if you want to trade the stock market, you can still play New York Times. So
in that regard, right?
That's why people who make money, they move to Miami. That's like the the finance bro pipeline. You know, like you read stuff on Twitter and then you watch like a couple Andrew Tate videos and they move to Miami. Like that's the pipeline I'm seeing, at least.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I wanna double check this real quick, because let's use the example of your let's say like you're making 250K, right?
Sure. And then what do you want to take out of
that? New York City tax.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting, right? Because it's 2 different things.
A lot. New York City tax
Brother,
is fucking a lot.
I read this tweet on Bloomberg. It said, if you took your 150K salary in New York and moved to Miami, you put an extra 50K in your pocket.
Well, what's crazy about this, right? So this is from Claude. It's saying that, so for everyone else, New York City tax is in addition to state tax and federal tax. It's literally
just on top.
The fucking city tax. And that could vary anywhere between 3% to 3.87%. Which, if you take into consideration someone making 250K like yourself, you're paying $8,800 in taxes, just pure city tax.
Sure.
Just to work and live here.
Yeah, something like that. It might be a little bit more with the adjustments of between 2 different incomes.
Yeah,
to
give
be honest,
or take, but like to get basically close to $10,000 just down the drain just for being in
New
York City.
That's a down payment on a car in some states.
Crazy. Yeah. In most
That's
states,
your car.
That's the whole car. That's not even a down payment. That's
That's
the whole car.
yeah, under 100K, you could get that. You know what I'm saying? You could get that,
Bro, that's crazy.
that 2004 Lexus. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the case of a renter, then like even moving to Florida, the whole situation there is like if you're not buying property, which the property tax is high, if you're renting, you're not even affected by the property tax. You're basically getting zero.
Why exactly?
Zero state tax,
Dude,
and zero city tax.
my uncle, he makes a good amount of money. He just ended up renting. He just ended up renting for like 2-3 years or something like that. He just paid down payment. He makes a lot of money because he's like, yeah, it would probably actually cost me more if I owned this for 2-3 years. So I'm just gonna rent it.
Yeah.
And then he just has this apartment in Miami for like 2 years, just condo, just
that's
for him,
fucking sick.
just for him, just whatever he wants to, pull up in the next 2 years because like he expects to do business there, so he'll just have it.
So it's wild because people always talk about how people are moving out of New York City, yet the New York City, the rental prices have been increasing.
Yes, it's actually reached an all-time high.
Drastically.
Manhattan, I think as of 4 days ago, and it might be new today, a new update even today too. But yes, it's all-time high right now. Average apartment goes for like 5.5K a month, one bedroom, which is absurd.
As of today, the
Manhattan.
statistics?
It's like as of 4 days ago. Yeah,
As of 4 days ago?
CNBC. Yeah,
Holy shit, that's
CNBC is
wild.
the one I follow. Yeah,
Yeah.
their housing stats.
Dude, yeah. It broke this month. The past 4 months out of the 5 months have broken all-time records.
Bro,
what the fuck are we doing?
Dude, here's the thing. We're considered the brokies. We're middle class, so we have to pay for everything. That's the thing.
But why does everyone which I there's a lot into what you said,
Yeah.
by the way, which we could definitely dive into.
Yeah, I mean, it might make people mad, but that's the reality. I mean,
Yeah.
I know my taxes very well. I do my own taxes the last 5 years, so I'm actually very well read in terms of where this money's going.
I read a great article the other day that was explaining why the people that make between $250K to $1 million from a tax perspective get fucked the most.
Yes, they do.
Not that they're not well off or anything. They're just saying from like how much you have to pay the government.
Yeah, we have to
much the government
contribute
takes from you.
a crazy amount, and it makes it really, really hard if you're working a normal job and stuff like that. That's why if you want to actually make a lot more money without a cap, you have to do business. It's impossible. It's impossible to get it without it unless you're doing like trading and stuff, which is like also a form of business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you are your own business. But my point is that you have to actually leave your jobs because of course your jobs will provide you security and net, but you actually have to transition off of it at some point to remove the cap, remove the ceiling, because when you're making money through a business, that's when the fun begins. That's when you collect all the money and you evade every tax possible. And before people get mad, everyone does it. Every rich person does it. And the tax laws and the tax codes were made by rich people, and so rich people know how to manipulate it. So if you don't do it, you're just losing the game.
Yeah, it's either you have a incredibly high W-2 or like you said, you have all the tax benefits of actually owning a business.
There you go.
Yeah.
And by the way, you owning a business is already contributing to the economy. That's why there's tax breaks. Your money is going back to the economy by having a business. So that's why there's tax breaks. That's why it exists. So, I really strive for anyone to try to own a business, even if it's a side hustle, because there's a lot of things you can evade on your taxes and actually put some money in your pocket, especially because you spent your own money on that shit. Get money, like if I invested my time into a remote setup, understand, like remote desk, like, laptop, all this stuff for my business to run my home office, it costs money, so I should get a break for it.
Yeah, no, 100%. That makes sense. It's like incentivizing you. I know it's not easy to come on a show, talk about your finances, talk about 2 full-time jobs.
It's not. But you know what? I like to talk about it because I just want to let people know that, like, you can really get out here and make it. Like, a lot of the things are edged against you, but if you're like me and you use your brain and you think critically and you don't listen to everybody else, you can make a lot of money.
And I respect the grind, bro. And I appreciate you coming on, being able to share these insights. I think it's valuable for everyone else. And for everyone else tuning in, thank you so much. This might be the last official episode in this place before we get a new studio. A lot of dope shit to come. So we'll be also speaking with not just individuals, but also creators, business founders, and everything in between as well. So outside of that, everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in to Eat My Assets, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much for coming on the show. You killed it, bro.
Of course. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.